Hey, how's it going? I'm going to show you my signs before I get started, and then we're going to see if I can get this to set up without flopping over, because there. So I pulled two cards. First card I pulled is Me Talks from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. So, Me Talks, and the subtitle is Repairing the Body, Mind, Spirit. I'll let you get a look at that. And then I pulled another card from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And it's the frog card. So, I don't know what the heck's been going on today, but it's been really hard to do everything. And by everything, I mean online stuff with like apps and things. Just, regular stuff like, banking or whatever, and just nothing. Like, I just did not have the answer until I tried like 50 times or something, and I'm really not exaggerating. If it's not that I'm not getting whatever the procedure is correct, which is a lot of the times what the problem is, it is physical, or it's my phone. So what that means is that I have a physical challenge. I have a left side that was paralyzed for a year that has never acted right, and I'm being asked a lot to do like really fine motor skill things that it takes me a bunch of repeats to do, and by the time I finally get it done, all I want to do is break stuff, because it's stuff I just didn't even want to be doing in the first place. So, and that looks like the world that we're going to get to live in now. Hooray. So, before I address the cards, I kind of want to talk about that more, because I feel like it lends to the other subject that I've been, trying to write this, I guess, essay on for about a week, and I'm not getting it right, and it's just getting longer and longer. I mean, I'll figure it out, but I have to kind of let whatever there is to say about it come out, and it's like, oh my god, there's like going to be two parts to this, and I can't quite get off the first part. But it's about like money and how we value it, and the way that like the capitalist system has, here at least in the United States, made the acquisition of it more important than people, or what you do to people to acquire more of it. I mean, it's so frustrating. And then the other thing is, everybody wants it, and there's a bunch of people that just want to steal it, I guess. I'm assuming this is the reason for the ridiculous amount of security. I have a bill that I have been trying to pay for months, and I can only pay a little bit of it at a time. And because I couldn't make a big enough payment, all of the talk of, by the way, like over 20 years of payments with absolutely no problems, they could not like flex for me, And so what ended up happening is I couldn't pay them a big enough payment, or a payment fast enough, or both. So they ended up so-called suspending my service, but basically they canceled me. I don't know what suspend That, to me, that sounds like it could be reinstated. So, I mean, it could be even if they ended it. I could just like go back and pay. So I don't even know what the hell. But there are so many layers of security that you have to sign in to do anything, like pay a bill or talk to someone, like anything. I have an email account there, can't access it. They won't let me sign in. I can try all I want, but it's like, no, because you didn't pay the bill. And I'm like, really? Then quit calling me. Like, every time I try to reach them and I actually get through, because that's an issue. If I call, gotta sign in. Just every once in a while, I'll be able to, like, get through, and even more rarely, a person on the line. Did get a person the other day and explained again, like, they should keep a record of what they're talking to you about. I have talked so many times with these people. It's so frustrating. I've had text chats with agents, live agents, the idiot bots. They're not keeping a record. So what they had told me was, if I pay a huge chunk of money out of my monthly income, that I could begin a payment plan, and then I would have my service reinstated that day, which should have been today. I get a hold of them finally. I get on there. I'm able to get through because it's pay a bill. They're like, oh, you're going to give us money? Well, shoot, come talk to us now. So I get through, and it's not enough. The payment is not big enough. It's like half of my whole month's income. And I cannot get them to understand this. Oh, it's so frustrating. I just want to watch television again and use my laptop, because the phone is great, but it's limited and it needs an upgrade, and I got it from them, and it's just I can't use another service here because the complex that I live in is like contracted to them or something, and they're like, well, you could get Dish if you want, but you can't mount the dish on a building, and so your option there is to get a bucket, fill it with concrete, and then like sink a dish and get it mounted to a pole, and then that's like your other option. And no one here has it. And the one, I've seen it one time, and they didn't keep it, because you know why? Because you can't mount the dish up high on the building. Like, they couldn't get a signal. And anyway, everyone I know that has those dish services, there's a channel dispute half the time. So the channel your favorite show, like, you people know this stuff. It's like, why am I? It's just so frustrating. And trying to do things with like a half dumb hand, like take a picture of the card and activate the card, and oh my god, it's not going to get any easier or better. I don't like technology. I want to go back to before the internet, I guess. That was so much easier. But the security, that is driving me crazy, because it's like everything, and then you gotta have a PIN number, and then you gotta remember the PIN number, and you're not supposed to write it down, but I gotta write them down. But when I write them down, what do you think happens? They get lost. Should I put it in my phone? I don't know. I suppose. I don't trust the phone. But they make it so hard with the security. Like, I get it. You're losing money while you're basically stealing it hand over hand. Oh, and by the way, when they suspended me, they didn't tell me that the boxes I owe $300 on, or the boxes, there's just one, unless they're talking about the stupid internet modem too. I don't know. I can't get caught up. So yeah, I mean, everything has security. Like, everything has 30 layers. You gotta, like, remember the password and then get a code and give a blood sample. Like, Jesus, they gotta make it more people user friendly. This is ridiculous. Today I had a heck of a time locating a certain item on a website, and it was like, well, you can't do this with that until you give me this. And I'm like, how do I have this? I don't even, what are you talking about? They're like, well, that's the wrong one. That's not the number we have according to our records. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I never made a number and record. What? I just want to use cash money and talk to actual humans on the phone and shit. I mean, I know it's not easy to get along with each other, but my God, I can't stand myself. I get so mad. I mean, I was so mad yesterday about other stuff, but similar stuff, and it's like I couldn't I don't even want to do this, but here it is, and that's what almost kept me away. So I mean, I don't know how this relates to like everybody else, but it probably just never hurts to show yourself some self-care and that. And I just remembered something. I can do that. It's dumb. It's just something small. But see how happy that made me? It's not anything you gotta plug in. It's awesome. You know, duh. Well, I didn't know what I was gonna talk about. I actually pulled these cards like 2 days ago now. And I almost got new ones. I did get new ones, but I was like, yeah, I don't like you. And I put them back. So I got this back, but take time out from technology once in a while before it drives you insane. Couldn't be more obvious. Yes. Don't take the technology with you to the tub and accidentally drop it in there. When I pulled this card, well, not for the first time, honestly, but the person in the tub, I don't know if you are familiar with like the South American continent, the Native Americans there, the indigenous people there. I believe probably in more than one place, like, but I'm thinking I've for sure seen this headdress in like the Amazon, like Amazon basin, is that what it is? But it's like a different type of feathered headdress than you would see in a North American Indian you know what I'm saying, Native American, like in an old Western movie, you would see like the very typical, because that's what I think of when I think of an American Indian hairdress. American Indian, I don't know what to say. What is the right terminology anymore? First Nation, I'll go with that. But they're different in South America. And they tend to have these, they just look like that. I mean, I don't need to really describe anything else. That's it. And I don't know how close this is, or how much longer this will be the case, but it's pretty wild down there where these tribes live. And they don't, for years, like my whole life, so decades and decades, they pretty much like fought off any incursion of civilization. But the way they're cutting away the rainforest down there where these people live, I feel like they're more involved with, having a big war over it than trying to keep us out, because it's like typically some outlying agent will enter their area, like the native dwellers area, and decide they want it for some reason because there's some resource on it, and they'll just come up with reasons to get rid of you. And it's just like, wow, I just want to like have some people show up at these people, like the owners of these companies, to show up at their house and go, you have to get out and you have to leave all of your stuff. Nobody cares. Go and just strip them naked and boot them out into the street, and no one let them come in anywhere. Like, just give them no consideration so they know what it feels like. Because I feel like that's what they're doing to these people. And they do that here, and that's why we have a bunch of homeless people, and we've seen how that plays out, and I feel like that's the same thing. And it's terrible, because when I'm talking about going backward to the Stone Age, and like real simple, I don't know about the Stone Age, but before the internet, the Stone Age, what are you saying? That's way too much work. There's got to be some automation and stuff. Like, slow down. But simple life, that is what I would like to go back to, and that is what I've been like writing on. Like, I don't know if I'm going to publish what I've been working on, because it's just going on and on and on, and I haven't even gotten to the other. There's like a other part of it, but I was saying that it's just I'm just kind of disturbed at what happens to us when we get like rich. Basically, it just seems like your basic humanity takes a hit, and I wanted to pursue something like that when I was younger, before I got sick, but my particular illness involved a year-long paralysis on one whole side, which was the side that I used to fret on my guitar, so can't do that so much anymore, and other things. But like, that was the big one to me, like the not being able to walk that well. I was like, fine. But the other thing I was more upset about losing. So it's been many, many years, and of course I have tried to play and blah blah blah, but that isn't the point. What I'm saying is that it would be like basically useless if it were too primitive. So just pre-internet. But yeah, and so the getting rich, like there's so much evidence of how much more money is important than people, and I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't know what else to say. So, but if you want to sort of be, I don't know if off the grid is going to even be a thing for much longer, but if you want to exist in an alternative system, it's hard, like you got to have help, I think, and networks, and people helping each other sort of outside of the system, because there's so many layers of security to get to do stuff, and you have to have a phone. Like, you got to have a phone more than you got to have an address, almost, which is insane. And that's how it is for a lot of people. They got the phone and no address. And it's so hard. Oh, man. Wow. Let me talk about the other card, because I'm just bumming myself out here. The other card I pulled was the frog. And he's sitting in the rainforest, and there it comes up again. Like, I don't know if it's the rainforest, but it looks like a rainforest frog. It has well, it's multicolored for one thing, and the leg there in the back has an interesting sort of, I don't know, a pattern. It doesn't look local. And it's raining. So that's, yeah, rainforest, but oh man, used to be when there was a documentary of the rainforest, they'd say when you went in there, it would become like very dim, almost dark, because the canopy overhead was so thick, very little light penetrated. So if you look above the frog's head, it's very dark, but it's also, the darkness is being narrowed and edged in by light, as if the canopy off to either side up here has been cut away to such a degree that that's the way the light is landing. Where if the canopy were at its normal thickness and depth, this would, it would just be like almost dark in there. And this is like the most that can penetrate of the darkness, with all of this light pollution coming in from, I gotta say, cutaway foliage. And I thought there was nothing to say here. So I don't know what the solution to that is, because it seems like the stuff that's getting me that I talked about, that makes me want to go far simpler than more, a lot more basic than what I got going here. And I feel like I need to have more flexibility or autonomy or something. I feel restricted by technology and capitalism a lot. I mean, it wants so much from you, but it makes it so hard if you don't have all these levers to like help you. That's my experience anyway. So yeah, I don't know, that wasn't like, I don't feel like that was the happiest video I've ever made, but I also feel like what I'm saying is not exclusive to me, so the problem with the cable company, okay, so I have like a couple of options. Woo! They're really helping me. What they really are doing is making it easier for me to pay them. But here's the thing, like, I can't have another service really, and I can do streaming all I want, but do I just want to look at it on this thing? I have a 50-inch monitor out there. I want to use it. So it's been since June, okay? I was brought up by a television. My mom's partner was a Zenith. Anyway, I like I said, they still want like, $500 more. I don't have it to give them. Even if I didn't pay like my rent and feed my cat and pay all my other bills and buy all of the things that my Snap card won't buy, I wouldn't have enough to just pay it, which is why I've been trying to get some help from these people, because I want to pay it, But so the option, woo, is that I get to pay someone a bunch of gas money to drive me up there and back to the Comcast store that won't let me just call up on the phone like a normal business. What? And then give them their equipment back, I guess, because otherwise they're just going to keep charging me for it, and it's not doing anything but telling me what time I can't watch my show. Dang it! And then what? I guess I can like cancel that account and start another one? With what money? You just got all of my money, and you're just talking to the clerk. You don't get to talk to the person that could actually do something, like the person who owns the damn company, and go, do you see how insane this is? I've been trying to pay you all this time, and you made it so hard for me to get through that you weren't getting the payments, and you sent me to collections. Which, great. I need that too. Like, we all need that. But then when I paid them today, they took it back. It's like, really? Boy, you were just gonna off with your head. See, I don't like that. So how do we change it? I don't know. Get less cutthroats starting businesses that don't turn into heartless thugs when they get rich. I don't know. I mean, what's the solution? Because I don't know if you start out like a nice person and then you get rich and you turn into like not a nice person, or a business person. Like, maybe it's particular to that section of rich person. I don't know. They're just making my life difficult, and I want them to stop. Yeah. So, I don't really know. Like, I feel like at the end I should say like something something I don't know. I have no resolution for it. I have to do like what I'm dictated to. Like, I get no flexibility, and whatever has happened, whatever misfortune, well, that's just your fault. Just my fault and it wasn't even something that I did. I was like, ugh. It was, what is that saying? No good deed goes unpunished, because I got into the mess helping somebody else. Help a charity. Oh my God. That's just so ironic that I don't know. I'm just like, my that was my mind blown, in case you couldn't tell. So you're welcome for this one. I don't even know what to say. Oh yeah. Especially me, get away from the technology. But that's all I have in here to do. Damn it. Thank you and good night.